Hello guys, welcome back to another video in our channel, and up next is Chelsea's Conference League fixture, the final game of Chelsea's season, and it's a final. And Chelsea will be traveling to play their Conference League final against Real Betis, and this is going to be a very crucial game for Chelsea. After securing top 4, to add the cherry on top of the cake is to win a trophy so that we can mark a successful season. A trophy, a European trophy, and top 4, something that the players can build on onto the Club World Cup and the league next season. The Conference League is a very important trophy for the team. It's not necessarily the biggest European trophy that Chelsea aims to win. No. It's a trophy that is good for the team, for the players. It's good for the players. It's also good for the club, so that the club can actually be the first team to win all 3 European trophies, which can be good for Chelsea's history. We have seen the squad that has come out, and these are the players who are going to be in that final. From this team sheet, Maresca is going to select 11 players who are going to start that game, and I'm also going to give you my predicted lineup and what I think, because this is a final, and as I always say, you don't play finals, you win finals. That is what Mourinho always says. And this is the man of the match medal. So who do you think is going to win it? And can you just make a guess and leave the comment in the comment section area so that I can probably know your opinion on that. And this is a final. Mourinho always says this: you don't play finals, you win finals. You'll only be remembered by winning the final. Remember, this has been the year of the underdogs. Underdogs have won finals, so Chelsea, please take this final very seriously. Very seriously. A lot of players have they are already on the plane. They are traveling to where the final is going to be played. And you notice that a lot of players are looking jovial. The mood on the team is good. But again, the main thing about a final is focusing. Do not think that your favorites and all those kinds of things. Before we start, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Let's begin. So, Maresca is going to go up against his former boss, Allegri, who's currently coaching Real Betis. And Maresca needs to get his lineup spot on. Despite Chelsea being slightly huge favorites for this game, there is no favorites in final. Final is a one-off game. So, as we saw Maresca say that Jorgensen is more likely to start in goal, and I think that is going to be maintained in this game. And there is no problem of starting Jorgensen, provided that you also solidify the defense in front of him. And I'm still going to go with Reece James and Cucurella. I cannot bring in Gusto here or start Chalobah as a right back, because again, it's a final and it's good to have your captain on the pitch. When you're playing a final and your captain is fit, have your captain on the pitch. Have your captain leading his team. The second player, I'm going to go with a centre-back partnership, similar to what we saw in Nottingham Forest. I'm going to go with Tosin Adrabio and Levi Colwill. Again, I'm going to prefer them a lot. Some might even have Chalobah there and Badashila, but this is a final. Just play your strongest team. Play your strongest team in a final and win the final. Then, in midfield, I'm going to go with a midfield double pivot of Lavia and Caicedo. I think Fernandes can take a break and probably exchange with Caicedo, depending on how, and probably come in for Lavia, because Lavia is not going to complete the 90 minutes. But to control the game earlier on, we might need both of them to secure that defense. Front 3, I'm still going to go with Neto, Palma, and Madueke, but Maresca might decide to start Sancho because Madueke played a full 90 on Sunday. Neto was taken off earlier, so most likely is going to start, but I'm not really sure about that. But in my opinion, I will just pick this front 3, and leading the line can see the return of Nicholas Jackson. Now, Jackson should have done everything when he had the break by getting that silly red card, by trying now to prove a point. You have to win Chelsea that final. Jackson The last time we were in a crucial cup final, you did not provide. This time, provide, win. People remember Drogba because of winning Chelsea cups, so do it. I'm going to have to speak about some players, and that is Gusto and Fernandes. I've said Fernandes can stay out of this game and probably come in for Lavia. And Malo Gusto can also, I don't know how Maresca is going to twitch this, but if Gusto starts, then he'll have to start with Chalobah, because you cannot play Tosin and Rabiot as a right-sided centre-back. You know, the dynamics about this team. Now let's move on to the tactics. And I'm going to look at the tactics of Real Betis and the tactics of Chelsea, and how both of them can either complement or go against each other, because it's also quite unique how both teams might actually try to cancel each other on the pitch, which will be very good for us to see this tactical battle. Both teams line up in a 4-2-3-1, so I might not have used the correct shot numbers of the players, but I'm just going to use this model because it's quite quick. So both teams will more likely use a 4-2-3-1 structure on both sides, and both of them will be aiming to try and neutralize each other. Now, one thing I notice is that Betis are an aggressive team, and they like to press in a man-oriented fashion, so that you may probably see them using their midfield overload by going man-to-man with Chelsea's 3 midfielders and using their front 3 to cover Chelsea's centre-backs and full-backs at the same time to stop Chelsea from building from the back. And this is something that they did towards Real Madrid. As you can see here, Real Madrid are trying to build up. And look at how Betis have decided to go man-to-man in that midfield position and have their front 2 players pressing the goalkeeper and the centre-backs. This might play into Chelsea's hands, either by Jorgensen attempting to play long balls towards Nicholas Jackson to try and use Jackson's physicality to lay the ball for players such as Palma or Caicedo. Or Jorgensen can also be tasked by Maresca to just go direct and play the ball in behind, especially for the pacey runs of Noni, Pedro Neto, and Jackson, who will be looking to make runs beyond the Real Betis line. But in settled possession, we're going to see something different. We know that Maresca likes to set up his team in a 3-2-2-3 structure with a double pivot in midfield and a double attacking twin tens high up the pitch and a back 3 covering them. In this case, Reece James, Tosin and Colwill with Lavia and Caicedo deeper position, and now you can have Cucurella and Cole Palmer in those half space positions. But you still notice something, that Real Betis like to move into a 4-2-4 structure as they try to overload. But sometimes in this trying to move to a man-to-man position, they might leave a midfielder free. And this is where players like Cole Palmer can thrive. Just look at this structure here. This is a 4-4-2 structure. And you can see how Betis are looking to try to play quite narrow and condense the spaces. Again, this is a 4-4-2 structure. But you notice one thing, Betis are allowing huge spaces in between the lines, and if they give these spaces in between the lines to players like Palmer, they will suffer. Because Betis like to maintain these huge spaces in between the lines, what you notice is that players like Palmer in particular can pick up these positions, and when Palmer picks up these positions, you'll be in trouble. And this is one weakness that Betis have. As you can see here, Rodrigo is holding the width, Mbappe is occupying the right half space position. And because Mbappe is occupying this position, when the ball shuffles across to Rodrigo in this position, Mbappe in this position can look to make a run because the fullback is not stepping out to go and cover Rodrigo in the wide area, and that is leaving spaces for Mbappe to actually exploit that gap. And because of this gap that is being exploited between the center back and the fullback, what you notice is that now Real Betis have a weakness where their backline can be overloaded, and that's what Chelsea like to do. Mbappe is able to receive that ball and is able to whip in that ball towards the far post, where Vinicius Jr. comfortably finishes this chance and puts Real Madrid high up. And this is something that Betis need to change, because if they maintain this kind of structure where they will be overloaded in their backline, they will suffer when they play Chelsea. But that is just one element of the game. But what about Chelsea? How should Chelsea react when Real Betis have the ball? Because Betis at some point are going to dominate possession in the game. So what is Chelsea going to do to react to this? Now, one way Chelsea can do this is to try and press them aggressively high. Betis like to build with a 2-4-4 structure, and that 2 is more a 3 when the goalkeeper steps and splits the 2 center backs, while the double pivot play in a staggered position. And once the ball is played towards the fullback likes to play the ball towards the winger. When the winger receives the ball, he drags out a fullback out of position. And look at the midfielder, is already making that run to the space that has been left by the fullback. And once he moves to that position, he drags a midfielder out, and now the central midfielder is in a position where he can receive the ball in an area where he can easily create danger for his team. Here again, the midfielder who made that run is able to receive the ball as the fullback has been taken out of the game, and now Real Betis have moved from a position of build-up to a position of attack. Another thing that Betis like to do is they like to overload one side, and once they overload one side, they like to create this three-man run situation. And this can leave them light on the other side, but their main aim is to have that 3-man combination. Also, another thing, they like to make a lot of cutbacks and a lot of crosses from within, and the problem with them is that they don't overload the box with a lot of players, but their cutbacks are quite precise, especially a player like Isco, who likes to drift across all over the pitch looking for spaces where he can create trouble. You can see here Isco has dropped deep closer to his number 6, ready to receive the ball and immediately look to play balls to progress the ball further up the pitch. Here again, Isco is the one who has dropped deepest in between the 2 center backs to try and create that overload so that they can try and overload when they are building from the back. Chelsea need to be very keen about Real Betis. They need to exploit Real Betis' weaknesses, and they also need to be very resolute. Do not approach the opponent with a lot of when you are carefree, when you have not taken in caution, because I've told you this has been the season of underdogs. We've seen Newcastle beat Liverpool at the Carabao Cup, Palace beat Manchester City at the FA Cup. So Chelsea should not take this game lightly. They should be very strong. Even Spurs were the weaker team in the Europa League final. So Chelsea should take this seriously. Start your strongest team, start your strongest lineup. The players should be on point. The players should be switched on. They need this trophy. The only way that these players can start believing in the project, continue believing in the project, is when they win silverware. Because once they win silverware, the demand for more and more silverware grows within the squad. What do you think? Do you agree with my analysis? Leave your comments in the comment section area below. Thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.